Yes, I do exactly the same thing. Well, Jonty's making steady progress, and it looks like Jack's left one furry friend for another. But somehow I don't think this guy responds to Sit. Made by Steiff, this stuffed toy poodle has wandered a long way from his native German home. In the early 1900s, Steiff was known not only for creating lovable dogs, but also close to 1 million teddy bears. Jonty thinks this old boy will find a new best friend for 20 to 30 pounds. Meanwhile, I've broken into Francisca's vinyl collection. Hey guys, come and have a look at this. What a record collection you've got.
Yes.
Oh, look, Sergeant Pepper's.
Yeah, but they all look brand new.
Absolutely. Never been on a turntable.
How come?
Well, I worked for EMI. I worked for EMI from 1947 until 1963.
There's a real collection there. You've got
Really?
Vienna Boys Choir.
Ah.
You've got,
Have you got
Elvis.
Have you got any Ali Jones in there?
No, he wasn't even born then.
You say all the right things.
When I collected all these, yeah.
What are you trying to do to me?
Can I have a look at the album?
1950s and 1960s.
Wasn't even thought of then.
Oh, wonderful.
You see?
Now, this looks like it really has never been played, as you quite rightly said, because...
Well, none
course,
of them have.
Yeah.
None.
Because this is in such good condition, this album is probably worth more money than the rest of the albums put together. It's simply because this is such an iconic album. Now, when it comes to valuing a Sgt. Pepper's, first of all, it has to be in good condition, but let's have a look on the inside. If I take this out from the inside here, we've got a little art-designed sleeve here. That's important to have, that card there. And it's also important to have the original sleeve.
It's in brilliant condition, isn't it?
It really is in perfect condition.
Well, let's talk money. How much for a collection like this?
I would suggest that we do put the whole collection in together as one lot. Value, we're looking at £40 to £60, probably just for this album. But let's put the whole thing together. Are you sure there's no Ali Jones albums in there? Because that makes the collection worth even more.
40 to 60 pounds. Let's end it right there. We're not bad at all, but we need to carry on with the rummage. Come on, you guys, follow me. Yes, very funny, Jonty. You know that no record of mine would be unused. Unlike this carving set that looks practically brand new. Jack received it 30 years ago from an appreciative boss, and Jonty thinks someone else might like to have it for 20 to 30 pounds. Francisca's also been busy drumming up a fun 1960s punch bowl with 2 matching vases. A friend gave this set to her when she was living in Austria, but since there's no clear maker's mark to be found, Jonty thinks a fair price would be 20 to 30 pounds. Now then, we know that Jack worked in the airline industry, so it's no surprise when Jonty comes across all sorts of interesting airline memorabilia.
So, Jack, tell me about this collection we've got here.
Well, I suppose, having worked for BOAC, British Airways, for 34 years, one collects these things. And when I was travelling a lot, I always used to put some of these things in my briefcase as a sort of, should I say, a bribe to make sure that people remembered I'd been there and they'd promised me business and I'd promised to do that. And just left them there as a thank you.
We're looking at a sea of bribes.
Yeah, I mean, there are all sorts of things. There were clocks, ladies' powder compacts.
That's what I find so extraordinary. Can we just have a look at a few of these? This is a BOAC compact, for goodness sake. Could you imagine an airline giving this away to anyone?
Oh, not no. These were only, on the aircraft, they were only given to first-class passengers.
Well, that makes sense, doesn't it? Now, this is an object that I find absolutely fascinating. Here, we have a Wedgwood blue Jasperware tray, but on the inside here, we've got the bluebird emblem of the BOAC. Where was that from?
I think, if I remember rightly, they were specially made for first-class passengers on what we called the Monarch service, which was from London to New York.
Well, it will certainly attract buyers from who are interested in aviational history, of which there are many. And if you've got yet more to add to the collection, it will certainly be worth selling at auction. But I think we're roughly looking at £40 to £60 here.
OK, all goes into the pot.
It all helps, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Get my wife back on her horse.
Well, we haven't much time left to find many more items, so we all need to scour every nook and cranny if we want to make Francisca's wishes a reality. Luckily for us, Jonty's discovered a promising item that's been in front of us all along.
Now, look what I found you. A piano stool. Did you know it was a piano stool?
Yeah.
Yes.
What happened to the piano?
Where we were lodging when we first came home after the war, people next door were emigrating to Australia on the £10 deal.
Would you be sad to see it go?
You can't keep everything, can you?
No, but it gives you more room up here anyhow, darling. It's just always so cluttered up here.
So here we're looking at a mahogany duet stool. It's a mahogany frame, and it was made roughly about 100 years ago, so probably just before the First World War. Now, if you lift the seat up here like so, you can see the original colour of the timber. So everything else has faded naturally, and that's what happens when you expose an object like this into relatively strong sunlight.
So is this an item of furniture, or is it for a music lover?
Well, it's a piece of furniture that can go anywhere. It's quite a versatile piece of furniture. You can just imagine it at the foot of a bed, possibly in a hallway as a telephone table. So it's a useful bench, really, stroke duet stool, which of course can be used for a piano, and underside there store your sheet music.
So how much money do you hope something like this would raise at auction?
Well, because it needs a bit of work doing on it, we're looking at £40 to £60 at the auction sale.
Well, that's it for today. We've found all our items, and if we take John T's lowest estimate and add them all together, you're looking at around £320.
Oh, fantastic. I don't know what we'll do with it all.
Well, you're going to give some to charity, and let's hope that you get back on the horse. 2 weeks shopping? That's always a good idea as well. You've been fantastic. Thanks for all your energy and your fun. Really, really nice seeing you.
Been great pleasure.
Next time we see you at the auction.
Yeah.
And fingers crossed we'll get that 320.
That'd be good, wouldn't it?
It's been a long day of rummaging, but I think that we've come up with some real treasures. Let's hope we can get those bidding cards waving with Francisca's record collection, featuring a pristine Beatles album at £40 to £60. It's a must-have for any music fanatic. At £30 to £50, Francisca's costume jewellery should make a stylish impression on our bidders. And there's Jack's collection of BOAC memorabilia. Any aviation enthusiasts in the room should snatch that up for £40 to £60. Find out how much money these and the Mower's other items will raise come auction day. Still to come on Cash in the Attic. Jack's not happy with some of the bidders' offers.
Oh, that was disgusting.
That's
At
disappointing.
least they've gone.
And some of the items bring out Francisca's colourful side.
Tickled pink.
Tickled pink. That would have tickled pink. Find out what happens when the hammer falls. Well, it's just over a week since I met up with Jack and Francisca at their lovely home in Surrey. And like most people their age, they've accumulated a ton of items, some of which we've brought here to Chiswick auction rooms. We're hoping to raise £300 or so for Francisca's favourite charity. Let's hope the bidders are in here when their items go under the hammer. The sale room is always a popular haunt for dealers of antiques and collectibles, and our very own expert John T is already here, casting an eye over Jack and Francisca's items. Knew I'd find you admiring your own reflection.
Fancy
Don't you look good?
Fancy a cocktail?
Yeah, why not? I didn't see these at their house.
Well, in the house with Francisca, I found 4, but we've got 5 now, which is very good news.
They're lovely, aren't they?
I know. I put £40 to £60 on the 4, but hopefully that should be a little bit more than that because we've got the 5.
And there's me thinking that John T couldn't count. If you'd like to raise money at auction, do take note that houses usually charge a commission fee. Fees vary from sale room to sale room, so it's best to inquire in advance. Well, we're almost ready for the bidding to begin, but there's one item I've noticed that's not made it to the auction. Hey, how are you guys? Lovely to see you.
Hello.
Mwah, nice to see you. Oh, we're going
Good
for
to
2,
see
are we?
you.
Very nice.
Before we carry on, what's all this about you not bringing the lovely little duet stool?
It's too complicated.
Okay.
Right now, there are only things which we can carry. The stool was a great big clumsy thing.
Too big to bring.
Not only that, she's now bought a piano, which is downstairs, and she's having lessons, and she thinks it would be better for the teacher to sit
Next to me.
Now, you see, I don't believe a word of that. I think it's all to do with the fact that you've got nowhere to store those shoes.
That actually as well. Now we're back again to Imelda.